I've got a bit of news for you. If you're a learner rider here in the UK, learning to ride a motorcycle or a moped, or you plan to start doing that very soon, then this news is going to have a direct impact on you. The government is very close to changing the rules, and some of these rule changes could seriously affect how you go about getting your license. We're talking about changes to the CBT license, theory tests, automatic versus manual licenses, license upgrade routes, and even how our instructors are qualified, all possibly changing very, very soon. And there's one major change that's being discussed that will stop riders renewing their CBT on an endless cycle. There is an official DVSA consultation happening right now, and I've dropped a link to that in the description below of today's video. But right now, I'm going to go through all of these changes and how they're going to impact you and why they're probably going to be implemented in the first place. So just the other week, I did a video on how the UK license system is a little bit broken and outdated. It got a lot of you guys talking, and I think you agreed that it does need to be looked at in more detail. Well, as luck would have it, the DVSA has launched a consultation to overhaul the very system. And they're looking at how mopeds and motorcycle training and licensing works here in the UK. So why are they doing this? Well, it's because of everything that you and I said in the previous video and in the comment section on that video. The current system is old, it's not very streamlined, and the data shows that it's not really pushing riders towards full qualifications. It's also overly bureaucratic, quite expensive, and just feels a bit too much like there's many barriers to getting new people into riding. Last year there were roughly 180,000 CBT certificates issued, so it sounds like there's a lot of people getting into riding, but out of those 180,000, only 40,000 riders went on to pass a full test. That's roughly 1 in 5 learners progressing from L-plate licenses right the way through to full licenses. Meaning most of the people that we're seeing out on the road are just getting the most basic level of training, and then they're just staying there. And this is one of the biggest things that they're trying to fix with this consultation. So what are the government proposing? Well, the first major change is going to be making your CBT bike type specific. So that's automatic versus manual. Right now, there's absolutely nothing stopping you completing your CBT on an automatic scooter and then going out and buying a manually geared 125cc bike and riding it around completely legally. The CBT isn't bike specific, and there's no extra training required from a legal standpoint at least to ride a manual bike after learning on an automatic. Under these new proposals, that would change. So if you did your CBT on an automatic twist and go style scooter or motorbike, then you'd be limited to an automatic only bike when you pass that CBT test. If you wanted to then go and ride manual, you'd either need to do your CBT all over again and pass that on a manual bike, or undertake the manual module to kind of learn the skills you need to ride a manual bike. From a pure skills point of view, that's extremely logical because clutch control and low speed gear work is one of the biggest early accident risk areas for new riders. And it's a skill that takes a lot of practice and a bit of awareness to get right. So to me, this all looks like a very sensible start. But what is the second change they're looking for? Well, the second change is a really big one for me. Currently, you can go out and do your CBT without passing a theory or hazard perception test first. And I personally think that is bonkers, because you can go from zero knowledge to riding around on a scooter on public roads at the age of 16 after doing just a few hours rider training around a car park and a couple of hours supervision doing some roadcraft with an instructor by your side. This new proposal is requiring a theory test first, or to at least have the theory test built into the CBT training day. And when you look at the risk stats associated with this, you can see why they think this would be a good idea. Because motorcyclists make up a tiny percentage of total road traffic, but we form around 50% of all road deaths and serious injuries. So for me, hazard awareness and a basic understanding of the highway code is not just an optional extra for when you're riding a bike. It's real life survival equipment. This one makes a lot of sense. But what do you think? Is the theory test going to make getting your CBT harder for a few of you, or is it going to put you off renewing your CBT in the future if this were to go ahead? I think the third change is one that a lot of you are going to be excited about as well, because it's a change to the way you upgrade through the licensing with training rather than multiple tests. This is one of the biggest issues that I've got with the current system. So right now, if you were to go from a CBT to an A1, or an A1 to an A2, or even an A2 to a full A license, you'll have to take the DVSA Module 1 and Module 2 tests each and every time. So in theory, if you've been riding from a very young age and you were working your way through every license type that we have here in the UK, then you could find yourself doing these tests up to 3 times each. The proposal suggests allowing for approved upgrade training courses instead of repeat testing. This in itself would result in less exam pressure and more structured development steps between license levels, ultimately giving riders more real-life coaching and training rather than just testing you on the day of how you performed. For me, this is all about execution and what's going to make the biggest difference to safety standards. Several European countries already work with this system. So if the training quality is stronger and it's rigorous, then this could actually be a very big win for motorbike safety and for riders starting out. But if it just turns into a rubber stamping exercise where training isn't that rigorous, then it might actually do more harm than good. Now remember at the top of the video where I mentioned one major change that's going to hopefully bring an end to that endless cycle of CBT renewals. Well, that is the 4th proposed change. This one has potential to make the biggest impact to the rules. So currently, the CBT lasts 2 years, and you can keep repeating that as many times as you like. So you can pass your CBT, and when it expires, you can go back in, book again for another £180 day training, and get yourself another CBT certificate. There's absolutely no pressure to progress and get you off of the L plates. And people do this. Literally tens of thousands of riders are renewing their CBT again and again and again on this loop of basic entry-level rider training instead of progressing and getting the additional training and support they need to be safe on the road. Roughly 1/4 of CBT certificates issued are simply repeat renewals. And the government clearly wants to break that cycle, and they've tabled 3 clear options here. Either A, limit repeat CBTs, B, change the validity period for each of these CBTs and create a gap between each kind of retake and resit period, or C, add progression requirements that demand that when you've taken your CBT, you do have to progress on to do more additional training. The goal is simple. It's to stop CBTs being a permanent license substitute, because if we're completely honest with ourselves, that was never meant to be the way the CBT operated. Now let me know in the comments if this change is going to directly impact you personally, and what your thoughts are on either of those options above. And what's been stopping you as well, progressing from your CBT to do any additional training, and what do you think that training should look like to get you off the L plates and possibly onto an A1 license? And also, if you've not done so already, this might be a great opportunity to hit like on the video if you're enjoying it. Okay, so if rider safety is the theme of this week's video, then bike security has to sit right up there with it as the next most worrying thing for riders. Whether you're on a CBT license or a full license holder already, theft risk doesn't care what category your license is. I did a whole video on this topic and you can see it by clicking the pop-out banner at the top of the screen right now. Theft is a real worry that many of us have, and one that you can tackle with proper physical security like LiteLok. These locks are incredible. Thanks to their baronium core, which sounds like it's something straight out of an Avengers movie. They're angle grinder resistant and near impossible to remove without the keys. These locks are designed to stop real attacks, not just look good and be a visual deterrent. I've done a video on this particular lock as well. This is the X1, and why I use it and why it's my chosen security method when I'm out and about. And again, you can watch that video by clicking the pop-up banner at the top of the screen. And if you want one of these for yourself, well, you can head to the description below and you'll find my affiliate link down there to order one for yourself. You'll be helping me out with a little bit of commission kicking back to me from the guys at LiteLok, but ultimately, you will not be paying a single penny more than the asking price of one of these if you were to just buy direct and go straight to their website and cut me out. Right then, as always, that is the advertising section over. Let's get back into the video. So finally, there are a couple of logistical changes that are happening. The first of these is the introduction of a digital CBT certificate. This one is probably the least controversial change. It's something that's hopefully simply going to ensure that there's less fraud, fewer paperwork errors when filling in the CBT certificates, and faster DVLA updates when required. And it's going to be easier to enforce rules on CBT riders. Honestly, I'm surprised that it's not already digital. And they're also suggesting reviewing instructor qualification standards and updating the CBT syllabus itself to accommodate for things like modern traffic, modern bikes, and generally more modern risks. Ask around and you'll find that training quality does vary massively between school and training centre, so tightening consistency makes a lot of sense. So when we zoom out and take a look at the bigger picture and ask ourselves the question, why are they doing all this? Well, it's pretty clear that the aim of the government is to make riders more knowledgeable, give them more knowledge before exposing them to the road. making sure there's more progression to full licenses and stopping that endless cycle of CBTs. It's to try and ensure that riders have got better skill, matching to the bike types that they're riding, and more consistent training quality across the board. Because right now we have lots of CBT riders with low full license conversions and riders massively overrepresented in serious crashes. Now, this is the point of the video where I'm going to turn to you guys because I want your views on all of this. Should the theory test be required before the CBT? Should license upgrade routes be training based instead of test based? Should CBT renewals be limited to a certain amount of them in your lifetime or with gaps between each renewal? Comment below because, well, this consultation is currently live. As I've mentioned, there is a link to it in the description below. And rider feedback generally feeds in to the process. If you are planning to start riding a bike soon, this could change the entire path to you getting a license. Now feel free to go ahead and check out last week's video up here where I asked the question, why does the current UK motorcycle license cost so much money? And don't forget to subscribe by clicking my face over here. And if you've not done so already, please do like the video and hopefully I get to see you all next Sunday in my next video. Ride safe.